There's an old hotel in Chicago that every architect, historian, and staff member swears has exactly 200 rooms, 200 keys, 200 doors, 200 names on the blueprints. And yet, for over a century, guests have claimed to find a door at the end of a narrow hallway, a door that shouldn't exist, a door marked 201. Tonight, we open it. The Grand Winslow Hotel opened its doors in 1919, in the heart of Chicago's post-war boom. It was a symbol of modern luxury. Marble floors, velvet curtains, chandeliers heavy enough to crush a man. Wealthy travelers passed through its doors every night. Bankers, politicians, performers, and businessmen eager to taste the glamour of the jazz age. Everything in the hotel was meant to be perfect, and for most guests, it was. But even in its earliest days, something was wrong with the top floors. Maids reported hearing footsteps in hallways that should have been empty. Night staff heard knocking from a door that wasn't there, and guests sleeping on the fifth floor complained that someone walked overhead, even though the roof was directly above them. The hotel brushed it all aside. Old buildings make strange noises, they said, nothing to worry about. But the first real incident happened just 3 years later. It was 1922 when the first written report appeared in the hotel's complaint ledger. A businessman named Harold Denton wrote, plainly, "Heard crying from room 201. Door was warm." Confused, the night manager took the ledger and marched upstairs to confront whatever guest was making the disturbance. But when he reached the second floor, there was no room 201. Not on that floor. Not on any floor. The manager had the hallway checked 3 times. No door, no hinges, no lock, nothing. Denton insisted he had seen it. A brass number fixed to a dark wooden door, 201. Plain as day. Guests were moved. Denton received a discount for inconvenience, and the entry in the ledger was quietly removed. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Within weeks, more reports came in. Strange door at end of hall. Woman entering room 201. Lights under a door that isn't on the map. A guest asking for the room next to 201. Management didn't want a scandal. A haunted reputation could kill a hotel. So they issued instructions to the staff. Any mention of room 201 was to be dismissed. No discussions with guests. No entries in the logs. No investigations. Staff were told not to encourage imagination, and any talk of the room was considered grounds for termination. But some things don't care about management policy. The most documented sighting came from a 17-year-old bellboy named Thomas Hale. One evening, a woman in a navy blue dress checked in and asked for help with her luggage. She told him she was on the second floor, room 201. He followed her up the grand staircase, down the hallway, past the lamps, and right to the door. A dark wooden door. Brass handle, brass numbers, 201. Thomas watched her unlock it, step inside, and gently close the door behind her. He heard the soft click of the chain latch. He returned to the front desk and reported the check-in. But when the night manager rushed upstairs with him, the hallway was empty. No door, no hinges, no frame. Nothing but smooth wallpaper stretching across the entire wall. The woman was never seen again, and Thomas was fired for making up stories. But he swore to his dying day that room 201 had been there. Years later, during a renovation in the 1950s, a forgotten box of documents was discovered deep in the hotel's basement storage. Blueprints, correspondence, signed agreements, and one file that changed everything. Construction accident. Room 201. The records told the story the hotel had tried so hard to bury. Room 201 did exist. It was originally planned as a deluxe suite. A worker named Alden Price was killed inside during a structural collapse. The floor buckled, the ceiling fell. He was trapped and suffocated before they could reach him. But instead of acknowledging the accident, the hotel simply sealed the room, removed the door, adjusted the plans, and scrubbed 201 from the records, as if a man hadn't died there, as if the room had never existed. But you can't bury a room if it doesn't want to be forgotten. In 1978, during another renovation, workers found something strange. An old wooden check-in ledger from 1922, sealed inside a forgotten supply closet. One page stood out. Room number 201. Guest Alden Price. The same man who died during construction, booked into a room that should never have existed, years after his own death. And beside his name, the faint imprint of a room key. The hotel has changed hands many times. It's been renovated, rebranded, and redesigned. But room 201 hasn't stopped appearing. Guests still report a lit door at the end of a hallway that isn't on the map, muffled coughing on the other side, a chain latch clicking into place, a silhouette casting a shadow under the door, a man in a 1920s suit asking, "Is this the way to my room?" Security footage once captured him walking around a corner, but the camera on the opposite side never shows him emerging. He simply disappears. Staff still don't talk about it, and management denies everything. But ask the night cleaners, ask the security guards, ask the guests who wake in the night to see a brass 201 glinting in the hallway. The room is still there, just not all the time. During emergency electrical repairs in 2009, contractors were forced to break open a section of the sixth-floor wall, and behind it, they found an entire room. A perfectly preserved 1920s hotel suite, a suitcase damaged on the floor, clothes torn, a single glove on the chair, dust so thick it muted every surface, and on the desk, a diary open to a single page. Help, the last words that were ever spoken by Alden Price. And just as the workers saw the word, the chair flew across the room, as if someone had thrown it. The foreman insisted the room be sealed again, but one worker claimed that as he left, he looked back through the wall cavity and saw the silhouette of a man standing with his hand on the latch, waiting. So if you ever stay in an old hotel, and the hallway seems longer than it should, if you see a door at the very end, with a brass number that wasn't there before, don't open it. Don't knock. Don't even look at it too long. Because room 201 wasn't just forgotten. It was buried. And some rooms don't like being left alone. Follow for more chilling, haunting stories, for you never know what's lurking in the dark.